we spoke with the director and the creative people, and they were really good. They let us have creative input, and we realised we could make it kind of a bit our style as well, and so we did the collaboration. And then we thought it was good because it felt like our input was going into it also.
I think this was a challenge. We felt that, you know, toured around the world for 18 months, we had hits around the world, that's been amazing, and big learning curve, and we haven't done anything like this before. And like Kay said, that collaboration was like, how are we going to do this? Is it going to work? You do tend to beat yourself up over stuff, and this is a reason to beat ourselves up and try to get it right. So it's been a fantastic experience. When we saw the creative team that was involved in it, we kind of felt that this is what we do in our studio when we're making stuff. You know, we've made some really kind of strange stuff, and we thought this would be an addition to that. So I don't know whether that's why they came to us for this, because they saw that in us as well. I don't know, but it just fitted well. And
yeah, don't think we could have done it. It really just was to like do the music and turn up and get our hair brushed and makeup on and be in a video. I don't think we would have done it, but because there was that whole creative thing, and everybody seemed to want to do something quite different. It didn't seem like they were just trying to make a standard kind of commercial. They were like, yeah, let's try and do something really quite odd, especially for Tommy, you know, it's quite a different look to the adverts that we've seen before, so we were like, you know what, sounds quite interesting.
It's been fantastic working with people on set on this video, because we've got quite a lot of ideas about how to use LED lighting and stuff like that.
It's really well done, and we really like the LED screen and the lighting and stuff like that, and we didn't want it to be all kind of smiley and, you know, let's sniff ourselves, and it wasn't, it was really good.
He was fantastic, because as a director, obviously, he's dealing with more than just us as artists being creative, he's dealing with the whole thing. We totally respect the pressure from a director's point of view, taking on a project like this. It's tough. He was very concerned about having our input, you know, as everybody else was, but being the director, you know, sometimes you can work with a director and they're like, this is how I want it. He was really cool, so we really appreciate that.
Great eye. He liked all the little details, like a reflection off a guitar.
We kind of, you know, played around with sounds and tried to go for, because we're not a rock band, we're kind of like a electro pop alternative DIY outfit, very experimental. So we had to find a way of getting that energy without just selling out and being like a
fake rock band.
You know, it's something you have to be careful. So in the studio it was a challenge, and we came up with some really great lyrics and some great synthetic sounds that I think we were dancing to around the studio with our engineer. It was good fun, and we just felt that it had that energy without sort of, you know, thrash guitars and smashing up the drum kit and stuff. So. The nicest thing about fragrance is that when you're touring, and of course your clothes just keep going into, you know, like a wash bag or something, and then a week later you go to the laundrette and you take your stuff out. If you've been wearing fragrance, all your stuff smells good still. It's like got your smell.
It's a form of expression, you know. I have perfume that I love and smells that I love, and yeah, it's definitely a form of expression, and you want to smell a certain way. We found that it meant the sound of innovation on an open mind. So if you have an idea, it's like a little ting, a light bulb, like ting ting, goes off. I don't know, there's just two of us and we were very rhythm based and it just felt right. We was in a band before this one that failed miserably, and we kind of stayed together, and we was hanging out at a place in Salford in Manchester that was like a big old cotton mill that had lots of artists living and working there. And we lived there and worked there, and we worked behind the bar to pay our rent, and we were just hanging out, and I picked up Jules' guitar and he was hot wiring the electronic loop pedals for really getting into like the tech side of being a musician, and we just started playing shows for our friends really. All like kind of good inventive kind of pop, a lot of it was from the 80s, not because of the sound of it, but there just seemed to be so many pop bands being experimental and that were musicians and created then. It seems to be a real boom, so I think we would look into that for kind of late 70s, 80s for that inspiration.
French for dummies. Paris.
Get around the Arc de Triomphe at like 3 in the morning on bicycles,
amazing.
really good fun. Japan, Tokyo was amazing.
That was pretty fantastic.
We played a show in Berlin that was one of our first ever shows, and it was probably a room about this big, and it had broken tiles all over the floor, and somebody hit a hole into the wall and that was the bar, and then there was beer crates in the corner and that was the stage, and we got the audience to paint on the walls while we was playing, and it was just a really cool place. I just think it's quite nice for us to express ourselves and have our own kind of look, and you know, we kind of like things that have thought into them, so we like clothes that are really interesting and things like that, and so you can see somebody's treated it more as a piece of artwork. To us, that's beautiful, you know. I've been making you know, little hand warmers like you have when you're a child. I made a dress once out of you know, doilies that you put teapots on? It was the best dress ever. People were writing going, which designer is it? And I'm like, I made it out of teapot things, hey!
When you're on the road, at first you go out and you have all your kind of knickknacks. After like 6 months on the road, you realise the best thing is to own nothing. It really is hard to remember where you put your phone, where your laptop is. If you take 4 pairs of sunglasses, you'll lose 4 pairs. Don't spend a lot of money on sunglasses, because they're the ones you lose. All the ones I bought for like $2, $3, the little kind of cheap ones, they keep coming back. Buy cheap sunglasses and they last forever. We have been on the road for 18 months, so I think we've become better musicians. So I think that's rubbing off on our music.
A finished album is up next for us, I think, isn't it?